Hi everybody, my name is Phil Bolander and my company's name is Seed and Lead. I wanted to come on today and talk with you about something that's been heavy on my mind for the last week or so. I recently attended a program put on by Vicki Gould in Michigan, and it was called the Billion Dollar Brand Event. And it was really an outstanding program on many levels. And one of the things that happened for me was I gained huge clarity around what it is, hi Roseanne, what it is that I want to be doing. And it's something that's been in me, and I talked about doing it in the past, and then through a series of events, I didn't fully jump into it. So here's the thing, this is not scripted, this has not been thought out, I didn't write myself any notes or any of that type of stuff. It's basically just coming clean, hi Roseanne, coming clean about what it is that I want to do with my business. Because as I continue to lay the foundation for this business, I know that there will come a time where the demand for the work that I do and the services that I provide is going to become very, very high. And I want to make sure that people know exactly what it is that I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So just a little bit of background, and this might be lengthy. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if it's going to be a few minutes or a lot of minutes. So what happened for me was at this program last week, I had huge clarity around the fact that I really want to be working primarily with women. It's not to say that I don't want to work with men. In fact, I'd love to work with men who want to work better with women. My focus continues to be about serving women, supporting women, and being there for women. Now, let me tell you why. Because, you know, there are people that continually go on and on about what's your why, what's your why, what's your why. Well, I can tell you that my why started when I was about 11 years old. And my why came when, hi Fatma, good afternoon. My why came when my parents were divorced when I was about 11 years old. And I've told this story before briefly, and I'll tell it again briefly. What I watched was my mom go from being married to an executive who was quite successful in his career to being a single mother of 4 children. This was in 1970, and it was not a time where people were very gracious towards single parent families, and so I'll just leave it at that. And what I watched was my mom, with her resilience and grit and determination and everything that makes my mother the wonderful person that she is, I watched her pick herself up and move forward in really, really big ways. And I got to see her firsthand in her work environment over and over again. Hi Raya. And so what that did was it really made an impression on me watching women in the workplace after having spent so much time watching my dad, because I would go in and see my dad in his office, and you know, I got to see what that looked like, and then I got to see what it looked like for my mom to be in the work world. And it was completely different. It was way different. Even as an 11-year-old, I could see the difference. And so for me, what happened was, I think that's where the seeds were born in terms of being a supporter, crusader, advocate, whatever title you want to give me, whatever label you want to give me. It's really about being there for women. So what's really interesting about it is, as I continue to reflect on it, in 1982, when I started my career, I started in an industry that's dominated by women. The majority of the people that I worked with for the 25 years in that industry were women. So what that did was it gave me an opportunity to, as a leader, work with others and support them and see them grow and develop in their leadership, you know, have bigger roles, be promoted, have a change in their lifestyle. So it was really, really great to be a part of several organizations actually, where I got to have an impact on women, and women, quite frankly, had an impact on me. So my leadership style is really based on all of those experiences that I had over the years. Now, it's not to say that men didn't give me experiences. Quite frankly, what happened was, more often than not, the men were teaching me what not to do, and women were teaching me what to do. And I inherently had traits and strengths and characteristics that were developed more by working with the women. So anyway, as I said, this isn't scripted, so it's just a bunch of thoughts that I'm sharing with you. So what was really clear for me was in this program last week was being able to speak my truth about my why and have resounding support for it, have tremendous encouragement around it. You know, the feedback that I received while I was there from the women and the men, quite frankly, was really amazing. And I thought, you know what, this is really the time and place for me. This is exactly what I want to be doing. I want to be working with women in such a way as to support them as they take on their leadership roles, take on their home roles, whatever. So what happened for me was I thought about this and see if this resonates for you. And if it does, then put some comments in there. So men, because I'll talk about gender for a bit. So men are expected to carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. Men are expected to be the providers. These are traditional views that continue to impact our day-to-day. So men are expected to carry the weight on their shoulders. They're expected to be strong and tough and move forward. And typically, they do well at that. Women are expected to juggle everything. So they're expected to juggle their career, their family, their personal life, all of these things women are expected to juggle. And so you see it played out in media, you see it played out in movies, you see it played out in TVs, all of that stuff where men are carrying the weight and women are juggling. I would suggest to you that women are also carrying the weight. So women have a twofold because, quite frankly, if you look at the male stereotype, when they're done with work, then a lot of times, and again, I'm generalizing, a lot of times they're done. They don't go into their second career. They don't go into, you know, taking care of the family, running the errands, picking up the kids, cooking the meals, and that type of stuff. So it's interesting having watched that. And so what I want to do is I want to work with women in such a way, hi Vicki, I want to work with women in such a way as to be able to support them to carry the weight on their shoulders, and then also juggle in a healthy way. So you might say, well, you know, how are you going to do that? Well, it's really interesting that you say that because when I go out there and I look for opportunities for me to start working with women, hey Vicki, I find over and over again that women are doing an amazing job of working with each other. I mean, women have mobilized in ways that are nothing short of outstanding and astounding. So what they're able to do is they're able to create work groups and networking groups and retreats and just every opportunity for women to get together and support each other. And I think that's tremendous, and I think it's wonderful, and I'm really excited for that. And I think it's very empowering for women to be able to do that. And I want to see more of that. However, the flip side of that is that I'm finding it difficult to find a way into these groups because they are closed to men. They're really exclusive to women. And so my pitch around that is, I appreciate all that you can do together as women. Imagine what you can do when there are men out there like myself, because I believe there are others. There are men out there who want to come into these groups, these retreats, wherever the venue is, whatever the event is, come in and lend their support and serve women, because I think it's really important with women carrying the weight and also juggling to get some male inputs, get some male support. So I'm raising my hand. I'm raising both of my hands, although one's holding the selfie stick, to really go in and be a part of this movement for women to find their empowerment, find their voice, find their power, find their conviction, find their impact. I mean, women have made such an impact on my life. It only makes sense when I answer the question, how do you want to give back? I want to give back to women. I want to give back to the women that have been so instrumental in creating the leader that I am today. Now, I believe that my career was successful. I believe that I supported a lot of people in achieving their goals. And I believe that while I did that in my corporate role, I have every reason to believe that I can do it as an entrepreneur. So stories where I work with people and they make transformation in their career, they make transformation in their personal life. I'm eager to make that happen. I'm eager to work with people. I'm eager to work with people, again, with a focus on women and, quite frankly, men who want to work with women, because in this day and age, unfortunately, there are too many men who've worked with women who have abused their position and their power. And I think it's time for there to be some balancing energy around that, and have somebody such as myself, who's a man, who was successful in his career, be able to give back to the female leadership community. And hi, Bet. So this is just really boiling up in me. It's really, it's becoming more and more apparent to me that this is my why. This is, this is what I'm here for. This is what this season phase of my life is about. And I want to believe when I look around and I see all these women that are in my life, and I'm so fortunate to have so many of them, that there is a reason for that. I went to a board meeting this week for the first time, and it was really interesting to me to look around the room. There was about, maybe I'm doing it right now, 35 people in the room. And of the 35 people in the room, there were 5 men. The rest were women. These were all women in different walks of life, leadership roles and different things like that. And when I looked around the room, I'm like, I'm in a room that's pretty much all women. Now, I did talk to some of the men, don't get me wrong, and I talked to some of the women. And then I look at my career. I would easily say that 25 to 30 years of my 35 years were spent working with primarily women. And I have to tell you, there's something exciting about thinking that I could actually make a difference when it comes to working with women leaders. So I was watching a TV show the other day, and it was real interesting because this story gets played out over and over again. TV shows, media, commercials, movies, or whatever. The woman is the primary breadwinner in this TV show. She and her husband are going through a difficult time, and she's trying to reconcile carrying that weight on her shoulders and juggling all the things. So I think this has an impact not only on the professional parts of life, but also on the personal parts of life. So I'm not sure what all of this is going to sound like because I'll watch it back as well. I just know that my heart says to me, your place is working with women. Your place is supporting women. Your place is showing women that there's a way to be a leader, to be a family member, to be whatever role it is that you play in such a way as you can do it. And you can do it really well. So things like self-care, renewal, and there's a whole long list of things that I'll probably start talking about more and more. What goals do they have? What intentions have they set for their lives? How are they impacting the people around them? What are they doing to take care of themselves? I mean, it just gets me going. I've been energized since I went to this program. I'm really grateful to Vicki and the people that were there for giving me the support and giving me the encouragement as I shared my message. So in a nutshell, this is me in a nutshell if you've seen Austin Powers. In a nutshell, I'm coming out to let people know that, hi Elizabeth, my business is really, really important to me. The business that I'm setting out to continue to grow and develop is really, really important to me. It provides for me and my family, and it gives me a sense of purpose in terms of giving back to people. So help me get into places that, quite frankly, men aren't invited into now. Help me get into places where a man with a voice who has nothing but the utmost respect and appreciation for women, help me get into these places and be able to start the dialogue, start the conversations that bring people together. Because, whether you look at it from a gender perspective or a political perspective or any of these perspectives that are out there right now, there's a lot of division. And what I'm doing is I'm raising my hand to say, let's break through that. So keep a lot of the things that women do, that women want to do together. That's great. Because you know what? If women want to do things that women want to do together, that's wonderful. Men want to do things that men want to do together. That's great. Where's the middle ground? Where's the ground in the middle where we're having dialogues that are really, really robust and they're really meaningful so that when we walk away, men are leading more with their heart and women are able to lead more with their head. And again, these are generalizations, and I hope that my point is being made, and I'm meaning no disrespect to anyone. And in fact, Quite the contrary. I have tremendous respect for everyone, and I want to make sure that my message continues to get out. I suspect as I continue to share this message, it will be like the marble that's molded. It will become clearer and more finite. Right now, it's probably a little bit fuzzy, and I'd be really interested for you to put some feedback in the comments around this if you're watching it live, by all means, and then if you watch it on the replay, because it really is important for me to get this message out, and I'm very coachable. So if you say to me, Phil, more of this, less of that, right on target there, then that tells me what to do going forward. So, with that being said, I have tremendous respect for all of you, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend a few minutes with me today. So with much gratitude, I'm going to sign off.